Today we sit down for a conversation with Dustin Comey of the veteran team. Dustin is a retired military veteran, and he runs a real estate team here in Washington that specializes in serving the military community and their families. Please enjoy this conversation with Dustin Comey. Of all things, why real estate for you?
Real estate's in the family, for one. I was doing private security for a long time after I got out of the Marine Corps, and I have family that was in real estate, and they thought I'd be a good fit for real estate, and so I made the move.
Are you a good fit for real estate?
I am, yeah, I am. As you know, I'm a military veteran, and most of my clients are military or veterans. I like the fact that I can give back to those people, still serve the military community. I give back a large portion of my commission to help with their closing costs and get them home warranty. And just being a part of that large purchase is huge for me.
What do you think people should look for in a real estate agent?
Great question. I think one of the major questions that consumers should ask their realtor is, how many homes do you sell a year? Not how long have you been a realtor?
Yeah, it's a different deal, isn't it?
Very, very different question. And the answer to those questions is completely different too, and matters a lot. Someone could be a realtor for 15 years but only sell 2 homes a year, and then you could have someone that's been a realtor for 4 years and sells 30 homes a year. The experience level is way different. So that's not really a question I like being asked when clients ask me how long you've been a realtor, because I truly know.
Because I agree with you. If you're selling 1 home a month or maybe half a home a month, so you do 6 deals a year, that's really limited experience, and I don't think you have a real good pulse on where the market's going.
Exactly. You're not consistent in the market.
Especially when it can change in just 10 days.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's one thing is asking your realtor how many homes they sell a year. I think is a big question. I think that at a minimum, I think you should expect at least 2 homes a month. I would say would be pretty active in the market.
Do you usually attend the home inspection?
Every time.
Okay, so what is the craziest thing that you have seen during a home inspection?
One time, somebody was jumping their horse.
Pardon the interruption, but I wanted to share something with you. This video is sponsored by the Neo Experience app, and it's our way to help people no matter where they are in their homeownership journey. So whether you already have a home and you're looking to make a move, or whether you're just trying to get on the housing ladder, this app is going to give you a ton of tools to help you reach your housing goals. Now, to access it, you can visit www.homeownersuccessapp.com and sign up there completely free, or you can just check out the link in the description. If you're on your phone already, you can also visit the App Store and download the Neo Experience app, and then just use the activation code Humphrey to make it completely free for you. Thanks so much for watching. Now, back to the video.
Over the street in front of the house that we were.
In the middle of the home inspection?
In the middle of the home inspection, yeah.
Wait, oh, so that didn't actually happen? No. Get out of here, man.
That didn't happen. So, I've seen just about everything you can imagine. Foundations being held up by 4x4s, 2x4s.
What?
A lot of janky stuff in foundations.
Yeah.
Rodent activity beyond measure.
Are you the guy who climbs under the foundation yourself, or under the crawl space yourself?
I have not done that. Yeah,
right.
I can't say that I have, but I've got well qualified people that do that.
That'd be a hard pass for me.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
I'm anti-crawl space. No, I wouldn't be doing that.
Attic maybe, but crawl space.
Sure.
A little less.
Yeah, I don't like going into small dark spaces where I don't know what's going on. No, I'm out. You ever find any bodies?
I can't disclose that.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I've never found.
Did you have to fill it out on the form?
Yeah. Yeah, we put that on the inspection report.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah. If you did find one, I imagine that's how that would go.
Yeah. Went on a couple other reports also.
I'm sure.
Police reports.
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
I actually got a quick story and then a question for you. So I was working with a client one time that had a loan officer that she was working with, and the deal fell apart on closing day. True story. True story. It's not funny, but it is funny.
It hurts.
Just because it's laughable how this could happen. And what my client was told is that she needed to pay off her car before she can close. So that's a pretty big mistake. right? On the loan officer's part. So my question for you, what's important for consumers to be looking for when they're looking to hire a loan officer?
That's a good question. So that is just competency. You should really have a good handle on what you're doing and understand mortgage guidelines. First of all, you need to interview multiple people and just make sure that you have somebody who's a good fit that understands your goals.
That was going to be one of my questions.
The other thing is that this is no longer a drive-through mortgage. You can't just go through and say, oh, I'll take my 30-year fixed mortgage with cheese, please, because that's not the industry that we're in anymore. And so when we created Neo, the goal was really to help create successful homeowners, and that's very different than just giving somebody a debt and crossing our fingers and hope that they know all the right decisions to make. So the biggest thing is choose somebody who's really invested in their long-term success, because those mistakes can cost you thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars if you don't make the right decisions along the way. And so our commitment is not just for the 30 days when they're trying to close a home, it's for the next 30 years. Yeah. And that's where the real impact can be made. What is the one question that you get asked over and over again that you wish you could just answer once and for all?
I'd have to say, is it a great time to purchase a home?
Does a realtor ever say no?
I'm sure they do. Yeah, I'm sure there are realtors that say no.
Okay.
I would have to disagree with that response. I think it's always a great time to buy. It just depends on how you look at it. In regards to the current market we're in, there's a lot of people that think it's a bad time to buy, and they're being told by people that it's a bad time to buy. No, don't buy now. Wait until interest rates drop, which is, as you know, is actually the opposite of what we want to do in this current market.
I mean, if you want to compete, then sure.
Sure, yeah. We can go on for days on that, but yeah, I think it's always a great time to buy. I think it ultimately depends on you and your family's situation. What's right for you? Right. If you have to buy, I think now is still a great time to purchase. Interest rates are a little bit higher, sure, but they're going to change. They're going to go down. How far is the unknown? But you can always refinance, and then you can beat the buyer bazaar that's going to happen. Eventually here sometime this year, likely, and then avoid paying more and over list price and waiving contingencies and stuff like that. So, home interest rates are a lot higher than they were. And there's a lot of unknowns for people, and I get that, but it's still a great time to buy it. Now's a good time to take advantage. Get some deals on purchase prices, or get your closing costs covered, get a credit from the seller to lower your interest rate. I mean, there's a lot of options.
Let's say you're well into the home search. You're in the process. You have a client who's been taking your advice all along the way, and now you sell 30, 40 homes a year. Now Uncle Ed gets in their ear and starts giving them advice. And this guy has all the well-meaning intentions.
Sure.
However, he's done this 2 or 3 times in his life.
Sure.
How important is it to trust the expert advice that you're giving?
I mean, very important. I mean, it's a matter of getting into a home or not getting into a home, So there's always going to be Uncle Ed,
right.
Or there's always going to be...
God bless Uncle Ed.
Yeah, there's always going to be Uncle Ed, Dad Steve, or whatever. And you can't do anything about that, right? Your clients are gonna obviously trust and like their father or uncle a little bit more than you, and that's okay. But they don't always have the best advice, or the best knowledge. We're in the market,
or their perspective could be a little bit outdated.
Sure, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
December is not the same as January.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, they probably bought 3 homes, right, in their entire life, and that could have been 15, 20 years ago. Things are definitely not the same. So I have had that happen more times than I'd like to admit. That's okay, but I always just tried to tell them the same thing, kindly. I'm the professional. This is what I do on a daily basis. Your best interests are top of mind for me, and I think it'd probably make a little bit more sense for you guys long term if you followed my professional opinion instead of Uncle Ed's.
Gotta love that guy, but he might not always have the best advice.
Right, and if they decide they want to listen to Uncle Ed, then that's totally fine. I'm not going to lose any sleep at night. But yeah, it happens, and you just got to roll with it.
Sorry, Uncle Ed, you cost us a few $1,000s.
Another thing that consumers should be asking their realtor or potential realtors if they're interviewing multiple is what's their process like? You know, I think it's very important and almost mandatory, at least for us, it's mandatory that we go through a home buying consultation. It's usually about 30 to 45 minutes, but the realtor that you're going to be hiring or interviewing should mention that they do require or have a home buying consultation where they go over the entire purchasing process with you from start to finish. They lay out some expectations. They ask you what type of home you're looking for, dial in your search criteria. Instead of just, hey, yeah, I would love to be your realtor and send me some homes you'd like. And I'll set you up on a search for what, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms type thing? Okay, I can do that. And then, I mean, that's half-ass.
Right.
Excuse my language. But I think that's very important because the realtor is not only showing that they care, right, but they're trying to understand who you are, what you need, what your family needs, what type of home you're looking for, and that's going to cut down a lot of work on the realtor also, because now they're not finding a needle in a haystack. They have a very specific criteria that they're looking for and sending the client only homes that they're going to be interested in, which then results in you spending less time going out and looking for homes that they're not even going to like.
Right. And sometimes if it's a partnership, you have a husband and wife, it's important to make sure that you have both perspectives.
Yes.
That can change the mix as well, right?
Yes, yeah. It's another thing that we always require is if there's going to be 2 people a part of this transaction, that both are there for the consultation, both are going to look at homes. I'm not a fan of going to show the husband a home if the wife is going to need to give it the green light.
Because the shop might be awesome, but the kitchen maybe not so much.
Right, because then we're going out and everybody's making multiple trips when we should just do it in one shot.
That's good advice. What's interesting is that as soon as sellers have options, as soon as they got multiple offers, a lot of those benefits start to disappear a bit.
Yeah, rapidly. I've seen the market change dramatically just in a matter of a week. From last week to this week. Majority of homes that I'm looking at now have review dates. They're sticking to review dates. They're getting 5, 6, 7 offers, $100,000 over list price like that. And I'm working with a client, we won't say any names now, that unfortunately they were looking for a property for the last month and a half and showed them, 5, 6, 7 homes. Then when they were ready to finally put an offer on a home, we went a little bit over list price, but we got beat out by 50 grand.
Yep.
And as much as I wanted to say, I told you so, because I kind of pushed them along early in the start. I said, look, things are going to change.
There's that balance. It's really hard.
Yeah. And you don't want to come across as pushy, or I never want to force anybody into a home, but my job as your real estate consultant is to guide you in a path of least resistance, right? And make sure that we're getting you into a home that makes sense for you.
Well, and your job really is to see around corners so you can see what is coming and then help shine some light on that before that obstacle gets here.
Yeah, but everybody knows a realtor. Everybody has a family member, Uncle John, that's bought in 3 homes his entire life that says, no, don't do that. Maybe they'll run it by their uncle or their dad after they've heard me having conversations with them, and then they hear something different. So it's hard to trust someone as much as consumers would probably like to trust their realtor and loan officer when they have dad that they've been raised by their whole life that's telling them something different.
What is your favorite success story of 2023?
So I worked with a couple that bought a home sight unseen.
Ooh.
And they lived on the East Coast. We got through the inspection. I did everything virtually. I did the home showing virtually, did the inspection. Then we had a virtual chat afterward with the inspector.
Right.
Got through appraisal, and they're starting to make their way out here on the road and traveling across the country to where they could do some sightseeing along the way.
Yeah.
The escrow company and title company and the lender was saying, hey, if you get here by this date, we can close early for you. Do you want that? And they said, yeah, absolutely, because we've been waiting to get into our home. And so they blew past a few stops that they're gonna stop at, and got here. And there was a security breach within the escrow company.
No.
Yeah, and so timeout, put a kibosh on everything, And so they had no place to go into. They were supposed to close the next day and get keys. The listing agent and I worked together to accommodate them to allow their belongings to get put into the home. So that way when the truck came to drop stuff off, they could at least put it inside. And then we were able to get them into a little cabin down on Lake Tapps for free at no cost. So they were able to stay in that during Christmas and the holidays, and then we got them into their home.
Good job.
Yeah, some speed bumps and some delays, but
Yeah.
I think we did the best we could with what we had to work with.
Yeah,
so,
that's thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
And it benefited everybody involved.
yeah.
Thanks so much for watching, and thank you to Dustin for joining me. If you would like to get in contact with Dustin, I will leave his information in the show notes. But until next time, take care and be well.